Go.
everyone. Bear with me ngayon, I have an intense Steve neck na dito sa Kurawarapan. Anyhow, good evening everyone. Good evening classmates. So, tonight we will be discussing our new topic in campus journalism, which is the basics of newspaper layout and design. Okay. I know that all of us here are already familiar with newspaper, right? When we say newspaper, it is a large sheet of paper folded together, and newspaper contains, what do you think? Newspaper contains, ano ba ito? Contains English.
Facts.
It contains advertisements or news stories like local events, right? Okay, so right now we are going to discuss to you the basics of newspaper layout and design. So what is page designing? Page designing. So may I ask anyone to kindly read? Yes, Miss West.
Page design refers to the layouting of the newspaper page, which is also known as page makeup. It is the arrangement of articles, cuts, pictures, headlines, nameplate, folio, and other contents on the page.
Thank you, Miss West. Alright, so when we say page designing, from the word designing, that means outlining or arrangement. Okay, so in page designing, you arrange the articles, cuts, pictures, headlines, nameplate, folio, and other contents on the page. So we have to take note, especially those writers, that in newspapers there are guidelines and principles that the writers use as they design newspapers. And we also have to take note, everyone, that why is it that there is page makeup or page designing? Or why is it that writers use page designing? Because the objectives of page designing is to indicate the importance of news. And also, page designing could also, it makes the page the newspaper easy to read. And also, if there is page designing, it makes the page more attractive, especially to those readers. If they can see that the design is arranged properly, so they will be attracted to read the newspapers. All right? Do you understand? Do you have questions? All right. So let's proceed to the three common types of newspapers design. The first one is the horizontal design. In this kind of design, the preference is to use multi-column heads rather than single columns. You know, from the word horizontal, that means it is positioned as side to side, right? For example, as you can see, there are multi-columns here, right? And there are only single headlines, right? So in this kind of design, the writer uses 3, 4, or 5 columns, like this one. Okay, and we can also see that there are few but important stories are displayed on this design. Okay. Next is the vertical design. This favors the display of many stories on the page using single or 2-column heads with only the banner story placed across the page. Okay, so when we say vertical, that means it is positioned as up and down. Siya ba? Oh, no. Yes. Position is up and down. Right? Like portrait, something like that. So I have here an example to clearly understand. Something like this one. So in contrast to the other one, the horizontal, something it is positioned as side to side. Well, this one is positioned as up multi-column. And also, um, it also displays many stories. And you can also see here that it is more evident. Okay. So on the other hand, the tabloid magazine design, and this kind of design, only the headline of the paper's main story is displayed on the cover page, usually in bold types. Here's an example. So on this page, unlike the two kinds, right? Ngayon, there's no body out in here, sorry. There's no body text here, usually headlines, and the headlines used here are bolded, right? The writers use here bold, bold style, font. Sure. And also, we can also see here that there's a teaser here of what we are going to read. Like for example, if we flip the page of the newspaper, so we can see inside the content or what does it mean. Like this is the teaser, the story behind. And if you will see newspaper like this one, so this is what we call tabloid magazine design. Okay, understand? Do you have questions? Nothing? Thank you very much. Salamat. Joke. Next. Okay, next is the makeup patterns. The first one is the balanced makeup. This suggests orderliness, precision of thought, and unity. So, and this makeup, of course, it is order. There is unity, or I know this is very understandable. Like the quality of thought is accurate or precise, and also balance is also called as focus. Balance or focus make up patterns because on balance, the readers will gain and obtain the impression of focus when we look at the page. Like, because balance here, so the readers will able to focus to what the headline is talking about, like that. Okay, next one is the grace makeup. May I ask anyone to read? Hannah, please.
Brace makeup. In this kind of makeup, the display elements make the pattern slanting downward from the left to the right, down across the page like the brace of a shadow.
Alright, so it says here that the display elements make a pattern slanting downward from the left to the right, down across the page like the brace of a shadow. So here's an example. As you can see here, it is like diagonally arranged from left to the lower right. Right? As you can see, there's a picture here from the left corner out and here to the lower right of vice versa. And don't you know, class, that this makeup patterns is desirable to use when one story is more important than any other because the reader's attention is directed to the upper right hand corner or occasionally to the left. Like for example, if you're going to read newspaper, right? We would focus first on the left side, right? Like do you understand me? Like, diba, we will focus here first to read, right? So this is brace makeup. So, asya nito? Okay, so however, modular makeup, can I ask anyone to read? Yes, Miss Kibana.
Modular makeup. The front page is usually divided into at least 4 segments or modules, with each having some focus attention.
Okay, thank you so much. So, in modular makeup, actually, it is much of contemporary newspaper. And this kind of, this is an example. So, in this kind of makeup, it uses a grid system. Do you know what is a grid system? Like something like this? Grid- Grids are used to improve efficiency. They seek to introduce order and harmony in a design page. And also, grid make it more structured and coherent. And also, as you can see here, in this kind of makeup patterns, it enclosing all stories into rectangles, right? As you can see here that there are grids, so it encloses stories into rectangles. So, do you have any questions? Okay, so let's get forward to the next activity. So here are the principles of design. Guides and steps in page design. I know that this is self-explanatory, right? First one, have a focal point. Second, design with a purpose. Keep it simple. Maintain design using unity and consistency. Design should have contrast and balance. So next one. First one, have a focal point. A focal point is the element that pulls in the viewer's eye that is the center of attention or the main subject. So in page designing, you have to consider that you must have a focal or main point, like like the center of attention. Okay. Next, your novel purpose. So of course, in page designing, you must have a purpose why you are there is an arrangement in the newspaper. So organize large volumes of content into related parcels of information. Craft the typography to make it comfortably readable over many pages, yet lively enough to continually engage the reader. Okay, then intindihan natin yung charita. Next one. Next, keep it simple. Of course, from the word simple or simplicity, in page designing, you don't have to put unnecessary words or sentences on your page design. You just have to make it simple and also crystal clear, simplicity